Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good morning everyone. I would like to say thank you for coming to our presentation. I'm Dewi Garis as moderator and my partner is Abdi Ikhlasul Tasbel, Dela and Alpi Onita Purba. And then we are from group 13 and in this presentation we will discuss about is improving intercultural communication. Consider the physical and human setting, develop empathy, develop communication flexibility, some ethnical consideration, be aware of consequence, see commonalities, and the last is recognize the validity of difference. Okay, I'm the first will be presented, and my material is intercultural communication. As we know, intercultural communication is a discipline that studies communication across different cultural and social groups. Or how culture affects communication. It describes the wide range of communication process and problems that natural occur within an organization or social context made up of individuals from different religious, social, ethnic, and educational backgrounds. Next, improving intercultural communication. The basic requirements for intercultural competence are 1. Break the assumption. For intercultural communication to truly work, people need to assess their assumption and ask themselves why they hold choose idea or belief. 2. Emphasis. In order to come to appreciate and understand people from different cultures, empathy is vital. So putting yourself in someone else's shoes, you come to see or appreciate their point of view. 3. Involving others in text or decision making empowers and builds strong relationships. 4. Heart mentally. Heart mentally refers to a close and dimensional approach, such a way of thinking curb creativity, innovation, and advancement as people are restricted in how to think, approach, and engage with people or challenge. 5. Avoid insensitive behavior. People can and do behave in cultural insensitive ways. Effective communication depends on the informal understanding among the parties involved that based on the trust developed between them. Next, my material is consider the physical and human setting. We are now geography is the study of the earth or from a more theoretical angle, the study of distribution in space and time. In this here have physical geography is concerned with non-human aspect of the earth, geology, topography, hydrology, glaciology, oceanography, volcanology, and such like. And then human geography is concerned with the relation of human and sometimes other living beings to the earth and their spatial distribution across the planet. This is a very wide umbrella that includes, among other things, economy geography, geographies of migration, political ecology, reproductive geography, and cultural geography. So, some human and physical geographers today are beginning to work across these divide in diverse ways. However, for the most part, the work of physical and human geographers differs enormously in method, theory, practice, and application. Okay, the second will be presented by Abdi Ikhlasul Tasbel. For the Abdi, time is yours.
Okay, my name is Abdi Ikhlasul Tasbil and I will continue my friend's explanation. In here, I will explain about develop empathy. Empathy is the ability to recognize, understand, and share the thoughts and feelings to another person, animal, or fictional character. Developing empathy is crucial for establishing relationship and behaving compassionately. It involves experiencing another person's point of view, rather than just one's own, and enables pro-social or helping behaviors that come from within, rather than being forced. Empathy helps us cooperate with others, build friendship, make moral decisions, and intervene when we see others being bullied. Humans begin to show signs of empathy in infancy, and the trait develops steadily through childhood and adolescence. Still, most of the people are likely to feel greater empathy for people like themselves and may feel less empathy for those outside their family, community, ethnicity, or race. Why is empathy important? Empathy helps us connect and help others, but like other traits, it may have evolved like a selfish motive, using others as a social antenna to help detect danger. From an evolutionary perspective, creating a mental model of another person's intent is critical. The arrival of an interloper, for example, could be deadly, so developing sensitivity to the signals of the others could be life-saving. How do children develop empathy? Babies display an understanding that people's actions are guided by intentions and are able to act on that understanding before they are 18 months old, including trying to comfort a parent. More advanced reasoning about other people's thought develops by around age 5 or 6. And research shows that parents who promote and model empathy raise more empathic children. Next, I will explain about developed communication flexibility. Communication flexibility has long been recognized as an essential component of the communication competence. The flexibility here means the ability to adapt to the other person, as well as his or her body language. For example, when we see the other person with whom we are talking, we are start a conversation by asking him why he is gloomy and showing empathy for him. For example, when the person we are talking to is serious, it would be good to listen to him seriously as well, and not do anything else while he's speaking. With flexibility in communication, such as a preceding example, communication may be more effective and the message will be conveyed. Not only for regular communication, flexible communication also applies to agreements or disagreements. In the face of such a situation, it is not necessary to resist them, but rather to face them with flexibility. If someone is opposed, there will be friction that will negatively affect communication between us and the other person. When there's a difference of opinion, it's best to accept someone else. Only when the time is right can we express our thoughts. Flexible communication and how important it is to be aware of what makes other people tick. When you can see how other people are different to you, you can be more flexible and therefore more effective in all our communication. You can be more flexible and therefore more effective in all your communication. Here you can use the following key skills to help you communicate better with people who think differently from you. The first one is active listening. Give the other person your full attention. Ask open questions to broaden the conversation and close questions to confirm. Listen to the answers. Second, being clear. Less is more. Start with a clear headline, use structured content, and provide a short summary at the end of what you've covered. Third, clarify and summarize. This is the best way to show that you are listening. Add lines like, "So, what you're saying is," using their language and echoing their words and phrases. Fourth, be present. Be aware of your breath. Switch off your internal chatter and tune into your feeling so that you can give the other person your full attention. Fifth, provide feedback, but always ask if it is wanted. Use a balance of positive and development feedback. 6. Develop trust. Be crystal clear about the actions that you will both take, setting achievable timescales. Do what you say you're going to do, and then tell the other person that you've done and when. Living in a world where we're all different can be challenging, but ultimately far more interesting and rewarding than if we were all the same. Think about what makes you tick, and then fine-tune your communication depending on who you're speaking or writing to. Develop a flexible approach to your communication, and you will be able to bridge the differences, no matter how wide they might be. Okay everyone, that's all from me. The next explanation will be continued by my friend. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you moderator. I will explain the next material is about some ethical consideration and be aware of consequence. Some ethical consideration. Ethical consideration is a collection of principles and values that should be followed while doing human affairs. The ethical consideration makes sure that no one acts in such a way that is harmful to society or an individual. It refrains people and organizations from indulging in vicious conduct. It is imperative that ethical issues are considered during the formulation of inflation plan. Ethical consideration during inflation include: the first is informed consent, the second is voluntary participation, the third is do no harm, the fourth is confidentiality, the fifth is anonymity, and the last is only assist relevant components. Informed consent means that the person participating in the inflation is fully informed about the inflation being conducted. Participants need to be made aware of the purpose of the project, who or what group is funding it, how the funding will be used, if there are any potential adverse effects of their participation, and who will have access to the findings. The next, voluntary participation. Voluntary participation means that people participants in the inflation free from consent. Participants are free to withdraw their participation at any time without negatively infecting on their employments in future service or the current program and relationship with any of the reasons or reason bodies influence. It can be challenging to encourage high-rise youth to become engaged in a program, and it is therefore difficult when participants choose not to continue in a program. Next, do no harm. Harm can both physical and or psychological, and can be in the form of stress, violence, anxiety, diminishing self-esteem, or an invasion of privacy. It is imperative that the inflation process does not in any way harms intending or otherwise participant. The next, confidentiality means that any identifies information is not made available to or accessed by anyone but the program coordinator. Confidentiality also ensures such identifies information is excluded from any reports or public documents. Given that there are often small numbers in fear-based programs, it is very important to consider how reports are worded to ensure that there is no opportunity for people to be identified even though names are not used. Next, anonymity. Anonymity is stricter form of privacy than confidentiality, as the identity of the participants remains and no to the research team. This is more difficult to achieve than confidentiality as participants in the contents of social reasons are usually known to the program coordinators. The next are only assist relevant components. Only assist those components that are of relevance to the program. Initiative being conducted. High-risk population are sometimes being used as guinea pigs or a captive audience to ask all sorts of questions in information that are of interest to group conducting the programs. Initiative but not relevant to the program, nor will be to the group who are influenced in the programs. It is important to keep information as simple as possible and to remain focused on the intention of the information and what the guidance will be used for. Okay, next slide. Be aware of consequences. Awareness of consequences is the tendency to be aware of the consequences or the effects of our behavior on others. Such words 1968. Social psychologists have long argued that how individuals tend to behave in certain situations can be predicted by looking at his awareness of consequences for that behavior. Awareness of consequences defines it as an awareness of consequences, negatives for others or other matters as individuals. No processual works. DeGrasse 2009. Joy Rehman, Lassani, Bennett, Richards, and Soleimani 2001 says that awareness of consequences can affect pro-environmental behavior. From the outcome research conducted by Mohana 2010, that the high awareness of consequences increases, there is a high degree of one's pro-environmental behavior. Okay, I think that's all. The next material will be presented by Alfio Anita Furba. For Alfio Anita Furba, thanks is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alfio Anita and I'm the last presentation here. So I will continue. See commonalities. What is the difference between commonalities and similarities? Current research suggests that similarity is well characterized as a comparison of structure representation. This process yields commonalities, differences related to the commonalities, alignable differences, and differences not related to the commonalities, non-alignable differences. How do you play commonalities? The group tries to find at least 2 uniquities for each person. After 5 to 7 minutes, you can have each person say one of their uniquities or have a person read them one by one, having others try to guess who it was. And again, you want to go beyond the superficial, avoiding those things that people can readily see. Next is recognize the validity of differences. Reliability and validity are concepts used to evaluate research validity. They indicate how well a method, technique, or test measures something. Reliability is about the consistency of a measure, and validity is about the accuracy of a measure. It is important to consider reliability and validity when you design your research. Plan your methods and write down your results, especially in quantitative research. In quantitative research, you must consider the reliability and validity of your methods and measurements. Validity tells you how accurately a method measures something. If a method measures what it claims to measure and the result closely watch real-world values, then it can be considered valid. There are four main types of validity. The first, construct validity. Construct validity is about ensuring that the method of measurements matches the construct you want to measure. To achieve construct validity, you have to ensure that your indicators and measurements are carefully developed based on relevant existing knowledge. The questionnaire must include only relevant questions that measure known indicators of depression. The second is content validity. Content validity assesses whether a test is representative of all aspects of the construct. To produce valid result, the content of a test, survey, or measurement method must cover all relevant parts of the subject it aims to measure. The third is face validity. Face validity considers how suitable the content of a test seems to be on the surface. It's similar to content validity, but face validity is a more informal and subjective assessment. And the last, criterion validity. Criterion validity evaluates how well a test can predict a concrete outcome, or how well the result of your test approximate the result of another test. Okay, maybe that is all for me. Thank you very much.